This is the Lyndsay Stafford Show.
All right, well, welcome back to the Lyndsay Stafford Show. We are still in our series of featuring local legends here in Middle Tennessee, where we talk to and we get to pick the brains of local business owners here in Middle Tennessee. And this is the first time we've done this. I'm really excited, actually, to have Savannah Moss here. She is the co-founder of Brentwood Candle Company, and she is a student at the Entrepreneur Innovation Center here in Williamson County, which we'll talk a little bit about that. But Savannah, I'm so excited to have you with us. We are going to hear directly from her today, talk a little bit about what sets her apart, her experience specifically with the EIC, the Entrepreneur Innovation Center, and how that's prepared her for her senior year and what she's going to do afterwards. So if you are an aspiring entrepreneur or you're curious or you live in Williamson County, you just want to know what we're doing, listen on as I talk to Savannah. So Savannah, I'm so excited you're here.
I started business when I was a sophomore in high school. I started at EIC, which is an amazing program. And then towards the end of my sophomore year is when me and Cole, which is my brother, we kind of got into like our business. Mm-hmm. But before then, both of us had, you could say it wasn't like huge failures, but like we weren't in the process of like losing any money or anything, but we like had a failure as a business, and that like brought us together to create a business, which it's pretty successful for
absolutely
high school students to start.
I would say so. So Savannah, tell us a little bit about you. So you live in Brentwood, go to Brentwood High School. Tell us a little bit about you and your family and your experience.
So I'm one of 4 kids. So I have an older brother who is in college and then 2 younger brothers. And so I'm the only girl in the house, which is so much fun.
Interesting. Do you guys share a bathroom?
No, luckily I have my own bathroom.
That's a win.
That's a huge one. So I don't have to share with anyone. But so I'm really involved with my family. I love spending time. My youngest brother's 7. So next year will be a really sad year because I feel like I'll miss a lot of him growing up. But he's so fun to play with. We go outside sometimes. We'll play stuff outside. Or recently I've been reading him the Magic Treehouse books.
Oh, that's
so fun.
Okay, so he's 7, your youngest, and you're 18.
Yeah.
So 11 years. So interesting. When I went, so my youngest brother, so I have 4 siblings. My sister is 4 years younger than I am. Ashley, she lives right here in West Haven. My brother Mark is 4 years younger than she is, and he's in Nashville. And then I have the twins, Stephen and Billy. And Stephen's in Nolensville, Billy's in Ohio, just recently moved to Ohio. And they are 11 years younger than me. So I was in the same boat as you. And I remember going off to college and feeling like I'm going to miss their life. And there is such a different age gap. So it's great that you're so focused on family. I remember telling them that I would build a snowman with them on the first snow. We lived in Maine. And I stayed the night at my friend's Michelle's house on the other side of the town I grew up in, which is Scarborough, Maine. And it was like a 40-minute drive because there's the marsh and it's just this vast, logistically, it's just large. And my dad called me at like 6:30 that morning and said, "Hey, it snowed. Your brothers are waiting for you. You better come home." And I remember driving home in this, like just had snowed, but in Maine, it's not like it is in Tennessee. So family, I can totally relate to where you're at. Family is so important. And you see that. So you and Cole have your business together.
Yes. And me and Cole we're like 18 months apart.
Okay.
So we're really close in age.
Yes, you are. So what sparked that? Like talk a little bit about how you decided to start your business together.
So for me to get into it, I loved candles. But I was a Bath and Body Works candle girl forever. And my mom always was so sensitive to candles because they're just really strong. And like, so I would light one, I would have to open a window. And so, especially in this weather right now, it's 10 degrees outside.
No windows being open.
Yeah. So we decided to go more the all natural route. So all of our candles are soy wax and essential oils is what they have in them. And that's all the materials we use in them. And ever since we started using those, she's probably buys the most candles out of anyone.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she hasn't had any issues with them. And I would say that's what really got me into it. Cole was more of the candles is a good way to make some money.
Yeah, he was like, how can we turn this into a business? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was more him, but I really got into it for my mom. and I liked candles. Now she loves candles more than I like candles. So
That's awesome. So Cole went to the EIC as well.
yeah, he
Okay.
started his junior year, and then so he was the second year when he started the business, and I was a first year.
Okay. So were you guys together in your group there, or you did something separate at the EIC?
So for him, he was focused on another business for the first part of the year. He focused, his business was hat liners, and
Okay.
it was like a hat liner to keep your hat clean, and didn't quite work out for him. He didn't know how to sew, so that didn't go well for him. But then I was part of because at EIC, they kind of put us in groups when we first get there.
Yeah.
So I was with a group with 2 other people, and we did, it took us a long time to get to there, but we're like, oh, let's advertise for other EIC businesses. And that just, none of us were really passionate about it. And so once Cole and I both, we found something that we're passionate about, and we decided to put our brains together and create this one business together, which it's easy, but it also does have its difficulties since we're siblings.
For sure. Now, you did that outside of the Entrepreneur Innovation Center then.
Yeah.
So you guys, for someone who has never been there, I've been working with y'all in that program for several years, but for someone who doesn't understand, can you explain how it starts so the EIC is an incredible resource for Williamson County. It is the Entrepreneur Innovation Center. And I believe Chris told me we had 350 applications for next year at the EIC.
I think so. There was a lot. Miss Chilton said this is one of the first years that they'll actually have to turn people away because it's so big.
It's amazing. But this program is not traditional school. Mm-mm. It actually gives students the opportunity to leave traditional school for a period every day, and they travel during their study hall or lunch, and then they have their period of class at the Entrepreneur Innovation Center. So the periods are a little weird because of the travel time. But young adults really is what it is, come into this EIC 5 days a week. They come each day. They have one class period there. Now, walk us through how it starts when you get in there, because they do have freshmen, but mostly I think it's looking at upperclassmen now and how full they are.
Well, some middle schools have an MX program, and so it's where they start the entrepreneurship program they do it for a semester. And those kids usually come in, but it's only at, I think, 3
That's
middle
correct.
schools.
Yeah, because Paige does not participate in that.
Yeah, I know Ravenwood and Independence, and I think there's one more.
There is one more, and I don't remember which one it is.
Yeah. But anyone in Williamson County, most people start it when they're either a sophomore or junior. And I would say that's the ideal time to come to it. I would say try to start earlier rather than later, because your senior year is kind of a lot harder to work on the business there. But we do an MVP pitch. And so we come up with a business idea. This is how we're going to implement the idea. And this is how we're going to make our business succeed. This is the money our startup costs. So I got to judge the MVP pitches for our first level students this year. And it was so much fun. And they basically tell you so one of them I think was a cleaning service for outside. So they needed a pressure washer and cleaning supplies and trash bags and all that stuff. And so they put all that together and they add up all the costs, and they ask for a few $100s. Most students ask for. And then Williamson County, I'm not sure I think it's outside people usually put money up towards, but then they'll give you most students get about $200 to start their business. And so they give you those $200. Now, for me and Colt was a little bit different because he had won money for his previous business, and we got to carry that over. Oh, cool. So he had won $1,000, and we got to use that $1,000 on our business. Wow. But most students do that. And then their second year, they really get into the depths of the business and actually do the work. So some days, most students come to EIC all 5 days of the week, but depending on your business, if I had to make candles one day and I make all of our candles at home, I would just stay home for the day during the EIC period and make candles during that part of the day. So it gives you a flexibility to actually operate a little more autonomously than traditional school would, right? Yeah. So tell me about the role that mentors play for y'all at the EIC. So honestly, the mentors I feel is the best part. So me and you, we met, I think it was my second year. So it was last year. And they give you feedback and advice on how to carry your business and certain mentors come in for financial needs, like how to create like a budget or like what you can use your money for, what you maybe should wait to use your money for. So, and then other mentors are like, these are places that could really help you out. Like we've had mentors talk to us about craft shows and like events, or talking to a store owner and like about that kind of stuff. But you have like, they play like kind of just the basic roles of like, this is how do you run a business.
Mm-hmm.
And
so it's business owners, local business owners, mostly. It's business owners, right?
There's probably a few people that aren't business owners, but I think most people do own their own
maybe
business.
a C-level executive or a business owner, but the majority of people that I know from there are business owners. And so mentors go in, and it's one day a month they have a mentor day. Mm-hmm. So mentors can sign up for a cohort or more if they want to, and a cohort's just a class session. And we go in and just sit with a group of students and talk about their business and give them advice and help them troubleshoot, or, you know, talk about strategies for growth, or how to adjust to the changes that they need to make, or, you know, that kind of thing. Right. And then the other days you guys are just
we're working on your business. Pretty much you work on your business the rest of the week. Yeah.
So it's, you come into the EIC and you sit down to do, or you don't sit down, maybe you guys stand up. It's not a traditional classroom. So if somebody's not been there before, it's not like, it's kind of an open.
I would also say it kind of feels like it was an old garage is like the actual building. So it has,
but not like a house garage.
No, it's a pretty garage.
Yeah. It's almost like a kind of like a warehouse but redone.
Yeah.
With, you know, lots of rooms and podcast studio, and it's super cool. But you guys go in and then you're working on your own for the most part, correct? So you don't have somebody holding your hand and saying, okay, let's talk about the next step for your candles. Now, how are we going to find that? You guys are set to like, here's your resources, now figure it out.
The biggest thing is at EIC, you're treated like an equal. Like your teachers are the same as you. They don't treat you like they're better. Like they are there to mentor you and give you advice, but they treat you like a business professional. Mm-hmm. Which is completely different than like a regular classroom at school. Right.
How do you feel like your experience with the EIC versus your experience at Brentwood, which is where you go to school, what are the biggest differences aside from the obvious that you just stated?
I mean, well, the biggest thing is what I just stated is like you're like a regular student, but it's kind of weird. Like in school, they teach you not to use like AI and that kind of stuff, but they encourage you to use that AI, because in the real world, you're probably going to use some sort of AI at some point.
It sounds like you're saying when you think about traditional school versus the EIC, the Entrepreneur Innovation Center, school is very structured.
Yeah.
And it's you do this alone, and we're teaching you something, a specific thing for you to learn that thing and keep it with you and have it resonate. At the EIC, it's kind of, hey, you have all the resources you need and you can ask anybody anything. Yeah. And we're not telling you what to learn. You have to figure out what you want to learn.
Yeah.
So it's a very drastic difference, right? How has the kind of marrying of the two set you up for success, do you think?
The biggest thing that I've heard from my parents, the biggest part of success is I was a very shy student. When I came in, it really forced me to get out of my shell. So I hated public speaking. I hated making presentations, but now compared to like other students at school, I can like tell that they're scared and they're worried.
Mm-hmm. So going back to what you kind of just said, the EIC has given you a confidence.
Yeah.
And confidence, we know, comes from doing something hard and doing it and getting through it. That builds our confidence. So all these things that you had to figure out on your own, because when you're starting a business, there are so many different avenues that you're trying to figure out. Let's just start with registering a business name. How do you even start with that, right? And then creating the product, sourcing the things to create the product. Yeah. And there's the marketing piece, the pricing. And there's so many different avenues to business, but you learned all those things. So the confidence that it's given you is going to set you apart from others.
Like my parents even tell us, like sometimes our presentations that we give compared to even business professionals today.
Well, you are a business professional. You're just a young business professional.
Some like people in the more corporate side of things, they can even tell like with their presentations compared to ours, like ours are sometimes better than theirs, which is kind of crazy to think that someone who's maybe 10 years older than me presentation and slideshows aren't quite to like the same level as ours are right now.
And you've been able to master all of that through this program. So when you think about you and your brother started this business outside of the EIC right? Because he already was doing something else. You were in a different project. And then you were like, okay, this is what we want to work on together. So it was his senior year and your
sophomore year.
Your sophomore year. Okay. So then you worked on it together. So you've had your business. Now I want you to talk about your business. What is it? Where do we find you? What's your philosophy? What's your mission and values?
So, our mission, like, we have kind of played around with it, but what we've really stuck to is creating a quality candle that's affordable, but is made from all natural materials. And it took us a minute to get there and like kind of perfect the idea of the candle, but our business is really centered around the idea of an all natural candle because a lot of people, especially nowadays, are leaning more towards an all natural alternative to a lot of things. So it's all essential oils based and it's a soy wax. Now some people are allergic to soy wax. But it's essential oils is the main thing compared to like other
fragrances that
are used, or a lot of companies use a like synthetic wax instead of a more natural wax. So our wax is 100% all natural, and our wood wicks is what we use. So that's even natural itself.
Yeah. Now, I worked at Bath & Body Works for 10 years. I don't know if you know that. I was a store manager way back. This was before I even had my daughter, and she'll be 18 next month. So this is obviously a long time ago. And then I was a district manager for Bath & Body Works. And when they partnered with Harry Slatkin to do candles, this is a very, very, very long time ago. But I got to learn a lot about candles as one of the top performers there in the area that I was in. And so they did soy candles with a cotton wick, and I don't know what they use now. This was, like I said, decades ago. But the quality of soy and the fragrance content makes a huge difference in the candle, in the burn quality, the even burn, right? And yours do burn evenly because they're soy. And you use a wood wick. Why do you use a wood wick? I'm curious.
It crackles, and a lot of people like the crackle.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
now you said you're trying new wicks. Is it still going to be wood?
It's still going to be a wood, but some of our wicks have they won't light correctly, so we're trying to find a different wick that lights better, which makes the quality of the candle better.
So keep that product quality at a high level.
Yeah.
Okay. Now your candles, for those of you who haven't seen her candles, because you don't have any with you, do you?
No, I don't.
We'll have to put one on when we feature it, but they're really cute and they're a good size with cute names. The names are all super cute, but they're very fragrant. And your price point is good. I know there's a deal if you buy two. So
for us, we pay taxes. So with tax, they're $14. Before tax, it's about $12. I think it's $12.76 before tax. That's for our smaller ones. And then our bigger ones are about $18 before tax. And then it's $20 with tax.
Okay. You have a new line coming out. Can you talk to us about that?
So we decided, since both of us will be in college, are college candles, although you can't burn a candle in your dorm, or we don't advise that you do it.
Yeah.
We did that's a fun thing, and they're really good grad gifts.
Yeah.
So we decided to we have a few teams that we're doing more the bigger schools.
Cool. So you're talking not. I was thinking dirty laundry or clean laundry.
No.
Netflix and chill movie or candle, but you're talking college names.
Yeah. Well, obviously we can't have their name there, but for Tennessee, we did a pinpoint. We have the state, we do a pinpoint.
Cool.
So it's their mascot is the point where Knoxville is.
Nice. Okay, that's so cute. So what was the hardest part of starting this business?
I mean, really finding the price. How much can we charge for a candle where it's affordable to most people, but affordability, and you also have to have the quality. So our biggest thing is like, we want to have really good quality, but for that you have to charge a little bit more because the materials cost more. So finding a balance between the quality and how much we can charge for the candle.
What did you talk to me about what was the strategy? How did you do that? Because this is pricing. Actually, Jim, my producer, we were just having this conversation before this about a different thing, but creating pricing for your product or service. That's one of the hardest things business owners can do, because we don't, it's really challenging to look at your own business or your own time or your own services and put a dollar amount on that. So talk to us a little bit about how you worked through that.
Yeah, I think that's something we've more recently found is like, we never really thought to put in our pricing, like what our time, like how much time we spent on the candles, but which our profit margin is probably less if we added our time to it.
Sure.
But it probably will take us about an hour-ish, depending on how many candles, but you can probably make 5 candles in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So about 10 in an hour.
Yeah.
Depending on how long it takes the wax to melt and everything. But with that, like our time is probably the most valuable part.
Definitely the most valuable. And that is one thing most business owners or entrepreneurs have a hard time grasping the concept of, is that their time is the most valuable commodity they have. Have you read the book Who Not How?
No, I have not.
Okay, you got to read it. Do the audio version though, because it's Dr. Benjamin Hardy and Dan Sullivan. I've read it multiple times. I read it every year, and I'm in the middle of reading it right now, which is why I'm bringing it up. But that's one of the things that they teach is your time is the most precious commodity. So as a business owner, you want to figure out how you can get other people to do as much as possible so that your time is freed up to be doing what only you can do, right? The power of that. So at 18 years old, to already understand that concept and be working towards implementing that in your own life is extremely powerful. So go back to pricing. Thank you for letting me pause and point that out. But back to your pricing. So your time, and then obviously the product, the cost.
The cost of all the materials to it. So we got that. And then most products you want to have at least a 50% profit on. So then I think for ours, we have about, and this is like not including our, this is just like what it costs to make the candle. We have about, I think, a 62% profit margin, which is pretty
very good. Yeah.
Compared to like, back to the MVP pitches, there was some where there was like a 30% profit margin. And a lot of us who were judging were like, look at a way where you can still make it out affordable, but you can have a larger profit margin, because a lot of stuff that we saw in their profit, like how much it costs to make, no one was putting in their time. And that's, as you said, it's the most valuable part. And so you have to remember you have to pay yourself too, and pay the other people that you have work for you.
Yeah. So taking into consideration, and this goes back to what we were talking about before we sat down here, is you have to decide kind of what is your hourly rate that you need to get. And then if you're paying other people, that has to be taken into consideration. It's not just materials, it's labor and materials. And you are part of that labor. What that looks like. So you're heads and shoulders above other people. Now, one other unique thing, you are doing this with your brother. So I don't know that I've had anyone else. I've had husband and wife. I don't think we've had, Jim, have we had anyone else that's sibling or I don't think so. I believe it's just husband, wife. So how is that working with your older brother?
I mean, the saying is don't work with your family, but I honestly feel like it has brought us like closer, like in our relationship outside of business. Like it gives me an excuse to call him, honestly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I love doing it as brother and sibling. Like, although we like butt heads, I think no matter what, I think you can hate your business partner, but you can never hate your sibling. So like there will always be like love in that relationship. And I think it's so much more fun than working with someone I don't know as well.
There's a different level of trust when it's family, right? I mean, one of my businesses I own with my dad. And so we do everything together, and you just have this different level of trust. And there's a different level of assuming positive intent that doesn't always happen when your business partner isn't your blood relative. But like you said, it also just builds this strong foundation. Now, earlier, before we were filming, you were telling me about your future. So you're a senior this year. By the time this episode airs, you'll be just about graduated, if not already graduated, which is so exciting for you. Tell us a little bit about your plans afterwards.
So after high school, I plan to attend Harding University. This summer, I'm actually going abroad with them. I'll get like 3 hours of credit, so I'll get to go. I've always wanted to go to Greece.
Amazing.
And so I'll get to go to Greece with them, and we'll get to live in it's an old hotel that they've refurbished there, and so I'm really excited about that. So there I plan on studying accounting and business management.
Now, Greece is a place I've never been to, but I want to go. But I'm wondering if you're going to make some candles that are Greece inspired when you come back.
So Cole just went to Australia last semester.
I remember you saying that.
So, and then he sent me this candle, and he's like, we need to make a candle like this. I don't know what it smells like. So I just read the name that it was a teakwood candle. And so we've gotten a teakwood scent.
Cool.
And hopefully that will release in March.
Awesome.
Or March or April. I'm not sure what month we want to do with which candle. But maybe we'll get a Greece-inspired candle as well.
That's so fun. That's exciting for you. I'm really glad you're taking advantage of that opportunity. Now, your brother goes to Harding, and you were telling me a little bit about his experience because he's in business as well. And can you share with us, all the listeners, to kind of hear what you shared with me about your brother's experience at the EIC and now at Harding?
So one of his advisors or professors, I'm not exactly sure who, or someone in their business building, I know that for sure. She came up to our dad at one of the spring markets that they had there that we were participating in. And she was like, this program that he was a part of has set him up so well for the business world. And he's so much farther than his students that are the exact same age as him, doing the exact same classes, which he's kind of already done. But they're really trying to base their entrepreneurship program around like what we already have here, which is really cool to be part of a program that other schools, even colleges, are basing programs that they now have off of.
What you have available to you as a high school student. The Williamson County School District has done an amazing job with the EIC. And now with the Innovation Hub that's coming this year, I think it's actually supposed to be finished before next year.
Yeah, it opens 2026.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure Chris told me it's early 2026. It's just an incredible program, which is why I'm so passionate about being a part of it and watching what you guys are doing through it. So
there's a flight school.
I mean, it's crazy what's coming.
That could have been around when I was
seriously coding and the flight school. I mean, hospitality,
construction.
It's absolutely amazing. So I don't know where the resources are. Imagine if you look up the Entrepreneur Innovation Center in Williamson County, you can find out a little bit more if you want to be a participant as a mentor. They always need mentors. That's a big part of making this program work for the students is local business owners. And I've met incredible people through that program by mentoring and being there myself, just meeting other like-minded individuals. So they need mentors always. So if you're interested in that, you got to get your badge and go through the safety stuff and all that stuff, of course. But always need mentors, donations. They're always looking for donations to support with what we're doing in the Innovation Hub coming forward.
The biggest thing right now is our final pitch that's coming up, and so
I'm gone for that. I'm traveling, so I'm going to miss that. Unfortunately, I'm super sad. Can you share the dates? I know I'm gone for it, but I can't remember.
It's March 5th.
Yeah, March 5th. So I'll be in Texas that week. But March 5th is the final pitch. But we always need people, business owners that are willing to go give back to the community and to these young entrepreneurs. And I'll say, as a mentor myself, I get way more out of it than I could ever give to the people that I'm supporting there. They teach me so much, and I'm really grateful to be a part of it. And not to leave anybody out, I'm sure I'm going to miss people, but why don't you go ahead and call out all the leaders there that support you guys, Chris and Jeremy and Paula. And
so in the office, there's 4. So there's Dr. Qualls, also known as Jeremy, Miss Schneider, Miss Cleaver, and Miss Chilton. And so they kind of help run the place. But then our teachers, so Mr. Cummins, Mr. Burrow, Mr. Flowers, and Miss Joins, they're there to like they teach us how to create a business pretty much. And they they work with us on how we can improve and what improvements to make. But they are what make the place run. Without them, the place would probably be falling apart. Or at least crazy. All the students would go wild.
They do a really amazing job of running that building. And then Christina is the one, Chris, everybody knows her as Chris Schneider, who did the proposal for the pitch for the new innovation hub. I mean, it's
going to be a gorgeous building.
It's going to be amazing. So stay tuned and watch it. I just published my College Grove Neighbors magazine. We put the EIC on the cover, the hub, and then Franklin for the March edition, we put the EIC groundbreaking. So it'll be in the local neighborhood community magazines as well. But I'm sure it's all over online too. So everyone
it's all over their social media.
Yes, it's all over. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger, great place to be. You are so impressive. Have been blessed to be able to spend multiple times with you. We featured you as a high school student in my magazines. You've been to my B&I group networking with me.
Probably the best thing ever to come out of is the networking aspect, which I think I've gotten from B&I.
And you can come with me again anytime you want. As you know, I think, haven't you been twice?
Yeah, I've been twice.
I thought you've come with me twice. So I'll just I know we got to go, but I want to share how impressive you are, because our B&I group, which my producer is a part of, also has almost 70 people. I don't know what our latest number is, but we're right around there, 60, 70 people. And these are professional adults where I've done live TV and I've been in B&I now for a few years, and it's maybe not so much today, but it's intimidating to stand up in front of that many professionals and pitch yourself, right? I could talk about somebody else, but pitching myself is harder. And you did that flawlessly in front of all of these adults like it was nothing, which is so incredibly impressive. And I remember telling you that day when you were sharing it, both times actually, but it's a scary thing, and you're going to be in such a good place as you go into your next endeavor, having been able to do that comfortably.
Yeah, I would say the two key things to business is networking and passion is what I would say the key to success is.
Well, you just nailed it. I mean, that's the key, right? Be passionate about what you're doing and get out there and talk to people, and don't be afraid to do it ugly and network until you meet all the people you need to meet, because it really is always about who you know. So amazing. Well, I can't wait to have you back on the show. Give us an update on your journey. You're going to go off to school next year. I'll miss seeing you at the EIC, but I know we'll stay in touch, and I'm really proud of you. Yeah. Can you tell us where to find your candles though?
So, to find our candles, we're working on a website, but right now you can find us on our TikTok and our Instagram, which is brentwoodcandle.co for both. And then we also have an email. You can always email us for orders, and that's brentwood.candle.company@gmail.com.
Now, we'll put all this in the show notes too. Now, can you do custom orders too?
Yes.
Okay, so like if a business said, hey, I want 30 candles, can you put my logo on there on the sticker too? Okay. So that's a great corporate gift idea for the holidays.
We've done several before. We did one with a nonprofit foundation. Actually, we've done 3. We've done one with a nonprofit, and they customized a candle to sell through them. And then we've done one for my brother's social club. So that was I think it was 250 candles for them. So that was a lot. And then we worked with realtors before too.
Oh, that's great. So custom creative gift that's really unique and made for that business owner. Go find you. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for tuning in to the Lyndsay Stafford Show, featuring local legends here in Middle Tennessee. Like, share, comment, ask people to watch it, all the things. I forget what all I'm supposed to say, so just share it.